Afternoon, you guys. Welcome. We're here for our weekly romance oracle message. And we are in a vital period of time leading up to our new moon. This new moon will begin eclipse season. And so I've been making this sort of public service announcement every video. Do the cleaning up that you don't want to do now, so that the next 6 months can accelerate seeds that you are planting with passion and excitement now. You don't want to spend the next 6 months doing, the heavy processes and the releasing and the grieving and the letting go and the deconstructing and the reinventing. Like, we've already done that. And so if we can just get over ourselves and our ego, because what's going to happen, we're right here also in the precipice of Teshuvah, which is, I think, a 40-day period over the span of the month of Virgo, where we realign, we get back on path, where we're missing the mark, we recognize and we make amends and we atone and we make changes. And so that whole month is a preparatory stage for our yearly Judgment Day / spiritual New Year, which is Rosh Hashanah, and the day that we receive our new soul and destiny for the year, which is on Yom Kippur. So if you are consciously participating in these high holiday seasons, and you keep your heart and mind and consciousness focused on these, occupying yourself with these matters over the next couple of months, then you are likely to have life-changing and life-altering results from them. And so what will happen is that tests will be presented, or invitations, and they will be such shit sandwiches. It's going to be the things that you don't want to do are going to be like, this is the price. What if your whole life could turn around? What if you got the healing? What if your money situation turned around? What if this new thing could really take off? And getting this one thing healed or resolved or forgiven, or just a bit of bitterness transformed into sweetness, even if it's just an act of willingness, right? One step. It's going to be the thing that your ego does not want to do. And it is going to be so annoying. And you're just going to be like, oh, I don't want to do this. And that will be a sign that if you can get over that feeling that your ego is making it look so seductive, then you could literally unlock miracles. And this is presented to me. I was just waiting for this invitation to show up, and it did today. And I was thinking about this during my workout, because I can't answer this invitation until I get my attitude straight. And I was not open-hearted about this. And, my inner voice said, a rabbi or a holy man, even a psychologist or a psychiatrist would tell you that you're justified in your stance, and that you're setting healthy boundaries, and that you're not in the wrong. And that would feel better, and it would be easier, but it wouldn't reveal a miracle. And the Kabbalists aren't really worried about being right or justified, or even, necessarily treated fairly to earthly eyes. But the Kabbalist aim is, wow, where can I reveal a miracle? Where can I shovel some shit and clean some stuff up and transmute some density? And the only way we can do that is through eating that shit sandwich. And so my last week we had, I feel like, I know in my personal reading, we had Father Healing is Possible cards coming up over the last couple of weeks. And I have a very difficult time with my dad, because I've made the effort all my life, and he's always just been, very unavailable and, etc. And so it's like, as the years go by, it seems like he becomes a more and more difficult person to love. And so the assignment gets even harder. And I was still pushing through, but he just did some things last year that made me feel like it wasn't productive to be around him for a while, or talk to him. And I would like to, I don't know, take some more space. But I feel like this is an opportunity to reveal miracles instead of digging my heels in and being justified. Do I want a miracle or not? And I'm on the precipice of a next level, and many of us are. And so I would ask you, do you want a miracle or not? Can you find a way to embrace this opportunity, go on a run and change your mindset, get a better attitude about it, and then rip off the Band-Aid, so to speak? So I accepted the invitation, and even the terms of the invitation were triggering. And but that was just, the arsenic that made the test even sweeter, right? So all of that discomfort, doing something when it's hard, that is a sign that there is true power behind that shell that wants to be cracked. So, when you're asking yourself, what would God have me do? What would Jesus have me do? Ask, is the solution that feels good to me lead me toward creating more unity or more division and separation? And that one was the one I couldn't get away from. And it also aligned with my Kabbalah class, one of the main key points in last week's episode. So I was like, okay, clearly, we get the card all the time. Notice repetitious signs and synchronicities. And this is one of those things. It's like, okay, this thing keeps showing up, and you're like, you're not ready yet. But they always say start before you're ready. We always apply those things to positive things, like, oh yeah, put yourself out there, start that business, take that class before you think you're ready. Present your work to the public before you think it's ready. But they never say like, kiss and make up before you're ready. We never think of it that way. I love that on the bottom of the deck here we have butterfly, and it keeps popping out, and this is beauty. And when you look at the tree of life, the spherot, or the dimension, the attribute that corresponds to the idea of beauty, is Tiferet, which is the Christ center, which is located in the heart. And that beauty is also associated with pain and mystery and harmony and redemption and things being broken down and reintegrated and becoming rebuilt and renewed, and so beauty has so much depth. But I think that beauty is seeing life with awe of the Creator. And what that means is that, fearing God or having awe of God is being able to witness and hold sacred the presence of God within, that can be found within any situation if you look for it, if you activate that. And so when we proactively look for God in every situation, then that is living in awe and beauty, because you are seeing that the whole thing is alive and interacting with you at any given time. So the butterfly, the transformation, it comes on the other side of being completely broken down from what you once were into a soup of imaginational cells that then reform and rebirth and regenerate and rejuvenate into something far more beautiful and graceful and illuminated and elevated than the creature it was before. All right, I trust is also on the bottom of the deck. We'll go ahead and pull that. This part of the path involves letting go and trust. And look at this path, this part of the path. If you're a walker, if you're a hiker, you see that this can be kind of uncomfortable when you're going on a long hike, like going along like some part of the path that's like winding and kind of like on a slope and rocky, because you have to be really super vigilant and mindful, and your ankles can get tired and you can twist a foot, twist an ankle. So that sometimes this is a difficult stretch of path to walk, even though it's not like, you know, dense with like foliage and everything. The path seems clear enough, but it's, you know, doesn't seem all that threatening, but it can be if you're not mindful, if you don't watch your steps. So trust and move forward with conscious presence. Ooh, the dragon, power and strength. The fire to overcome. You know, in a way, it's like we have that good dragon, Puff the magic dragon, Pete's dragon, the good dragons, Falcor, right? We have those nice guardian dragons that are helping us to face off with our egoic dragon, the wicked dragon, the threatening dragon, right? We have to face and defeat those dragons before we can proceed further up the path, right? A classic archetypal rite of passage. So the test is come, and then just look at this. I love the imagery here. The image is a bit mirrored actually because of the video, but we'll turn this like this, but actually we'll turn it around. Because the dragon is facing the butterfly on the path, right? It's like the butterfly's flying along and the dragon is waiting on the other side of the path here. And it's like when you think about a dragon against a butterfly, it's like the butterfly, it seems small and helpless, but just its peaceful grace can you know, calmly fly away from the threat of the dragon. The dragon is so big that it can't be as precise. You know, it's kind of clumsy. It's broad strokes, right? So I feel like our consciousness is refined enough to handle the situation and to be able to face this dragon without being annihilated or crushed. You know, sometimes we feel like life, if it swings one more hard blow, you know, we don't know if we could recover. But I feel like this is assurance that we do have what it takes to overcome this and get through the situation with grace, with lightheartedness, with lightness, with joy. Look at this. I love this. I love this. This looks like a big rock on the side of the path that you would sit on, and it's like this kind of sunshine emblem that's been left by another hiker that came before, and a walking stick for support. And it reminds me of in the Garden of Gethsemane when Jesus was, you know, crouching over the rock in the Chosen in season 5 when he's praying. And he knows what's coming, you know, in the next hour or so. He knows that they're coming to arrest him. And so he's praying, you know, oh my gosh, let this cup pass, let this cup pass. And it says that he was sweating blood, that he was so distressed. Please, Father, if it be your will, you can, if this is a test, maybe I can, you know, my willingness means that I pass it, and you can remove this cup from me. And thinking, you know, referencing when Abraham was willing to sacrifice Isaac, and Isaac was willing to be that sacrifice, and Isaac carried his own wood, his own bundle up to the sacrificial slab, but they were saved because they were sent a sacrificial lamb in exchange. And that planted the seed to later represent the sacrificial lamb that is slaughtered on Passover, which became the fruit that would bear the future seed of Jesus, being that sacrificial lamb that would be sacrificed during Passover. And so, you know, Jesus even had his own moment asking, even though he knew he was sent here, this was his purpose, this was his destiny. Just like this test is going to suck, and this is the cup that God is giving us to, and this is the cross that we've got to nail ourselves to, and it fucking sucks. We don't want to do it. Can you let this cup pass me? But this is the whole reason why we were born, and we came here, and we incarnated into this life. This is part of our destiny, right? And so what Jesus says in that moment is, "Thy will, not mine, be done." And my inner voice said to me as well this afternoon, it's not about making your earthly father happy. It's about making your Heavenly Father happy. And that made a lot of difference there. So be joyous. This is a bitter pill to swallow, but probably one that will bring good on the other side of it. All right, you guys. I think this is going to make all the difference in our love lives and in our financial lives and the lives of our security, our situation with security, because those are both connected with Venus. And then our last card is the Raven. We've got magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. So watch for these synchronistic messages and signs coming in from, all of these auspicious places. And especially when you're like, I don't want to do this. Probably the big assignment. It's probably the biggest source of power that you can unlock. All right. The more irritating, the more light can be revealed. All right, that is all for today. We will be back tomorrow for our weekend reflection message. Until then, may peace be with you. Good luck on your journey and your battles and your tests. Ciao.